ate noodles with no packet. Cereal with the canned milk.
China. We love China. All right, guys, let's get into this. China is building $100 million brands.
I would have never expected China to look like this, to be honest. Do you think they've built this with intention, right?
I feel like the modern generation is definitely shaping how this feels. Pretty sure it used to be pretty frowned upon for if you dress a certain way or have tattoos and stuff in China. But now it's kind of chill. Doing denim differently for sure.
I think a lot of brands could only imagine executing this properly, whereas here I think because they have the facilities to just try, test.
Very true. Yeah, they're close proximity to where they produce it, so they can be a bit quicker with their testing. And it's a lot cheaper for them to test as well. If the Chinese brands start coming to the West, like, it could, that'll be tough to compete with.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because they have the direct source to the manufacturing plants. They have the direct source to all the sweatshops where they have the nets outside. So if you decide, hey, today's not a good day and I don't want to work today, sorry. That net's going to catch you, cradle you like a little baby. And then they're going to drag your ass back into the sweatshop and work your little Asian fingers to the bone. But this is the one advantage that China has over America, is making those changes, the quick changes, reacting to the market. What does the market like? What don't they like? And then putting product out. So that's probably how you can build a big brand, by being nimble. Too many of these big box corporations in America, especially, they're too big. And so they don't move fast enough. You have to go deal with all this corporate bureaucracy.
They can just be different with their speed, you know?
Yeah.
This brand's pretty fire, right?
So fire.
Where are you guys from?
The UK.
Oh, we're in the UK.
London.
Where do you think I'm from?
From the US.
Dude, what are you guys doing out here?
We got a brand out here.
Oh, what type of brand do you guys got?
I've got a fashion brand in the UK.
Is it like street stuff?
Street wearing jewelry.
Dude, that's fire.
So we do a bit of both. So we're out here for a week doing like a supply trip.
Oh, really?
Okay. No worries.
Coming to China, like, the thing that I noticed the most is that in China, the attention to detail is crazy.
Yeah.
It's like brands like Person Soul, Mason Prince. I mean, they'll use inspiration from other big brands in the world, but if you look at some of the pieces they have, a regular person will be like, there's no way I can possibly pull it off. But then I feel like what they're doing, what these brands are doing, is that they're just like, I don't give a fuck what other people think. As long as you can buy these pants and style it and work your way around it, you can make your own character.
Yeah.
So like when I went to a store like Person Soul, like they had names like, oh, that.
Right, but the problem with a majority of people is that a lot of people dress off the mannequin, right? Most people don't pay attention to cuts, silhouette, how it drapes on you, the pleats, how something falls, all these different things that come into play when it comes to either wearing a piece of clothing, knowing how to style it, and then knowing how to wear it for your own body type. A lot of people don't do that. So some of these big sort of statement pieces from brands, a lot of people overlook them because they don't know how to put the pieces together, you know?
That girl was 4, this girl's name is 11. I'm like, everyone has a crazy character here.
Yeah. Oh, like the stuff in the store.
Just have like that's their American names. I like how they use the bigger brands as like inspiration, but then they kind of find their own way to make it like their own style. Like Mason Prince, like reminded me of Balenciaga.
Yeah,
but then if you look more deep into it, like it was definitely very different.
Appreciate all the insight.
Yeah, of course.
Fucking guy.
Nah, I really fuck with what you guys are doing.
Right, yeah, appreciate
like,
it.
Yeah. That's right. Chick, chick. Yeah. Chick, chick. Yeah. My chick, chick. Yeah.
Light little 3 from the boy. Take it in, man. Look at the visuals out here, bro. Is this not crazy?
Crazy, though.
This is easily one of the most insane places I've seen that you can play
visuals
public
out
basketball
here,
for free with the boys, you know? Compared to like UK or maybe in Europe, where if you pull up, you know, it's going to be like the net will be ripped off, probably be some wrongins hanging about. Your impression of China was just what you hear growing up, or from older people who have never been here, or even older generations where they built their own perceptions of what China was. Whereas, bro, this new young generation of China is different. Like, they really are like creating a different version of it, and it's fire. It's lit. So you're tapped in?
Yeah.
That's sick. Do you work with mostly like the Western brands or Eastern brands?
Mainly Western. I just like finding new Eastern brands because I find like they're probably even more tapped in than I am in terms of like what's new, and they take advantage of that. So like a lot of the Chinese brands are like absolutely destroying it right now.
Right.
Like I'm sure you've seen like people like Mason Prince and that. Like,
Do you think like it's flipping a little bit where obviously
they used to come to us for inspiration and
exactly. I think a lot of Western brands are now coming to like obviously Japan's a classic one, but even more maybe China now to like get inspo on, you know.
Bro, there's so many of our clients, like some of our clients from Australia, some of our clients from the UK, they'll come here and they'll be like, they'll go to Mason Prince and they'll be like, I bought like 12 samples from Mason Prince and I like this. So it literally has flipped.
Damn, it's crazy, yeah. And I feel like even the store experiences are they're pretty fire out here.
The next level. China's like, you feel like you can experiment shit, like you can be a mad scientist and just go crazy with it.
Yeah, that's so real, man. Even some of because I guess there are a few brands, like I say, I know you mentioned in the video, non-radical, got good balance of like actually wearability.
Yeah.
Because obviously there are some insane styles.
I think the main issue that I would have with anything coming in or out of China for me would have to be the quality. But in the last couple of years since I was living in the Congo, the quality is actually not that bad. I think it depends what you get. If you're trying to get a full-on rip-off of like a major brand like Louis or Gucci, then I preferably you should get something that's coming from Turkey, because the Turks also do, I guess, replicas really well. So shout out to that. Shout out to them.
Here, but it can be a little tough to wear it, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Like that. I don't know if you've seen Person Soul.
Yes. Yeah.
That's like the definition of like world building. It's completely left field of like anything you've seen before, but like they've built a world for it, and like credit to them. But like in terms of wearability, there's like maybe 1 or 2 pieces that I could wear in that store, just based on my personal style.
And I feel like obviously in the West there's a difference between the young generation and older generation. I feel like here it's really clear, you know, in terms of I think the younger generation have got way more freedom than they used to.
Oh, yeah,
in terms of like they can express themselves, they can get tattoos, they can fucking dye their hair, you know. So like I feel like they're a lot more now. They've got this kind of almost newborn creativity and freedom. That's really expressive with the styles and what they wear.
And I don't know if you guys know much about like the history of China, but like I think it was 1960s, there was a cultural revolution, and like China had like a really big creative scene, but a lot of those people had to like they were sent to relearn different skills. So like they had like really good artisans, but they would take those artisans and they'd be like, you're not allowed to do this anymore. You now need to go learn how to file. So like there was a big generation that kind of like got lost within what they were doing and had to do something completely different. So like maybe now it's just kind of the effects of that, and you're seeing a new generation come in and like they've got all this freedom, they've got all this like supply chain access, they've got access to all the options, and now they've also got access to the internet. So it's like it's kind of like a melting pot of just ideas and creativity and just being able to actually execute on stuff.
And I feel like they're attracting more visionaries like you to come out here as well. Like I think to work from here and be indulged in it too, because I just think it's almost like
in terms of just being technologically ahead as well, bro. We have to talk. You're not going to sit there and talk to me about how the Chinese are making advancements and making $100 million brands without having to talk about the technology and infrastructure that is powering all of these distribution centers and the creativity in this country right now. They don't have the same access to stupidity like the Americans do, bro. Over there, it's like kids actually want to be something important when they grow up, okay? They don't want to be 35-year-old streamers. And there's nothing wrong with that. Get your bag how you get it. But I'm just saying, China is not something that needs to be underestimated, my guys. China, we love China.
flips now the creative scene and where all these ideas are coming from the East now. So it's an interesting culture shift I think we're going through.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
From East to West.
Yeah, bro.
It's insane.
Yeah. Spending all my days on the East side,
Yeah, that's just good for me to see all this stuff too, because when I'm thinking about pop-ups and doing our own store one day, then just have so many references in mind can help me like think of ideas or things I hadn't thought about that you could do. Even the sound thing's kind of sick.
Yeah.
Having like a narration of something is pretty unique.
Crazy. Also, it makes sense with the brand as well, because a lot of the pieces are pretty unique.
Yeah, for sure. From that, it feels authentic, it feels real, which I think is also important when brands and are doing these type of things and experiences, that like whatever they execute, it does feel real. Otherwise, if it's doing too much and it doesn't match the product or the vibe, then it doesn't come across in the right way. What's cool is that now that we've come into this room, which is clearly a little more formal, like their take on like a formal setting, now the product shifted into that as well. Now it's like clean jackets, some like more tailoring. So it's kind of like a dope spot, especially if you're a brand that's got like a
So as you move through the rooms, it speaks to you as you're moving through them. Okay, that's interesting. I like that.
multiple categories, then this is a great reference for how to like capture the product within the store as well. Keeping it on brand, but for the new category, if that makes sense.
No.
It's like a cool way to do it. You know, a brand's dialed when they got a coffee shop inside, you know? I feel like that's the new meta almost for stores.
The store really had everything there.
This is a fire one, honestly. Maison Prince, Shanghai, the flagship. This is a sick experience. Not only have they got the amazing like visual interactive stuff in the store, but then to round off the full experience, they've also got like a cafe downstairs where you can order a coffee, chill for a bit, and you probably spend like an hour in here. And it really just shows like the offline experience now is becoming more and more important, particularly with AI kind of drawing so much like brain stuff into socials now and content. A lot of it feels the same, whereas something AI cannot replicate is an elite in-person experience where you get to feel a brand, you get to really see what it's about. So yeah, they're doing it right, man. Definitely.
The idea of community. If there's one thing that AI will never get rid of, is the idea of community. The idea of bringing people together, like-minded ideas, like-minded individuals. That is just a great way that you can always make money, is by having a sense of community. And I guess that's the reason why I'm doing the events and I like to do the parties and stuff, is to bring together the community and bring people together. Obviously, there's debauchery involved, but I guess that's just, you know, a side effect of the community. You know,
gonna see some more brands execute styles like this in the West, I've no doubt. And like I said, like it's not only just the big brands out here that are doing this type of thing, it's the upcoming smaller brands. I think Maison Prince is one of the more iconic Chinese streetwear brands, but even some of these ones I don't even know and never heard about, that are probably small, doing quite, you know, little revenue, like they've really considered every single detail. So yeah, shout out to the Chinese brands, so they're doing it really well.
I know, f***ing with a crook is whack. I lied, cheated, still took me back. What I do, turn around, ask you to cook me.
It is looking.
That is sick, bruv. I like a good video like that. And with that, Make sure you guys check out China, Shanghai, and make sure you guys hit up all those pop-ups that are running and going and get yourself some local art.